Now, coming in at number 10 and number 9, we have Raqib and Atid. So this one counts as 2 entries. In Islamic tradition, the 2 Kiraman Katibin are 2 angels called Raqib and Atid, and they are the angels believed by Muslims to record a person's actions throughout their entire life. It's literally almost like they have video cameras rolling like the paparazzi all day, every day, no matter where you are. But whether a person is sent to Jannah, which is heaven, or Jahannam, which is hell, is not necessarily dependent on what their good deeds are and how the good deeds outweigh the bad deeds, but it's ultimately up to God's mercy upon a person. Moving on to number 8 and number 7, this is also a double entry. Munkar and Nakir. These names translate to the denied and the denier. And these angels, they're actually the ones that question a person when they lose their lives, and they're in the grave and their belief is questioned, and what they know about Prophet Muhammad is also questioned. So the soul of a deceased person will be in the grave in an upright position, placed like that by Munkar and Nakir, and that person is asked to identify who Prophet Muhammad is. Now, righteous people will acknowledge that he is the messenger of God, and that person will be allowed to rest in peace until the day of judgment. And these 2 angels, they also punish those in the grave who do not believe or were hypocrites and sinners while they were alive on earth. The next powerful angel to look at comes in at number 6, and this is Ridwan, also known as Rizwan or Ridvan. He is an archangel according to Islam, and he's known as the angel of paradise, so he guards the gates of heaven. In the tradition of Qisas al-Anbiya, Ridwan is given the task of preventing Iblis, the devil, from getting too close to Adam, but was tricked by a serpent who concealed Iblis in his mouth and carried him past him. Now, in art, Ridwan is often portrayed as standing in the clouds of heaven or standing in a beautiful garden, which are both symbolic of paradise. All right, guys, halfway in at number 5, we have the angel Israfil. He's responsible for blowing the trumpet that will be the signal of the end of the earth. As a matter of fact, it would be the end of all creation. It's believed that Israfil will blow the trumpet from a holy rock in Jerusalem to announce the day of resurrection, also known as the day of judgment. And he's commonly thought of as the counterpart of the Judeo-Christian archangel named Raphael. And waiting to blow the trumpet is not Israfil's only task, but it is his most significant task. And unlike some of the other angels in this list, he's not mentioned in the Quran. Moving on to number 4, this powerful angel is Malik. Malik is an angel in hell and purgatory, and he administers hellfire, and he's assisted by 19 other subordinate angels. The Prophet Muhammad had met Angel Malik during his heavenly journey, so when Muhammad arrived in heaven and all the angels greeted him with smiles on their faces, the angel Malik didn't smile at all. So when Muhammad asked about this, why his face doesn't look so happy at all, another angel reveals that Malik is the guardian of hell, and because of that, he never ever smiles. Moving on now to number 3, we have the angel Azrail. The angel Azrail is the angel of death, and that is Malak al-Maut in Arabic. And he takes away the lives of people at God's command, swiftly, just like that. So yes, he's in charge of ending people's lives, and many other angels work under him, so he may not necessarily be the one that specifically takes everybody's life. And some angels under him take away the lives of good people, while others, who often appear in very frightful forms, take away the lives of sinners and disbelievers. Powerful angel at number 2 is Mikael, and he's referred to as Michael in Christianity. He's one of the archangels and is said to be responsible for the forces of nature. Mikael is often depicted as the archangel of mercy, so he's said to be very friendly, and he asks God for mercy for humans, and it is said that he was one of the first ones to bow down before Adam at God's command. He's responsible for the rewards given out to good people in this life, and he's believed to guard places of worship. Mikael is also credited as one of the angels that purified Prophet Muhammad's heart before his night journey or Isra from Mecca to Jerusalem and his later ascension or Miraj to heaven. Mikael is also noted as helping the Muslims in their first significant military victory, which was the Battle of Badr in Arabia in the year 624. And finally, in at the number 1 spot, the angel Jibril. The angel Jibril is one of the main archangels and the angel of revelation who is assigned by God to reveal the Quran to the Prophet Muhammad. And in biblical literature, Gabriel is a counterpart of Jibril. Jibril was also assigned to deliver the message to Mary that she would have a son, Jesus. And in the Hadith, it is mentioned that the angel Jibril accompanied Muhammad during Miraj, which was an ascension of the Prophet Muhammad into the heavens. Jibril in his true form has been described as having 600 wings. And each pair of wings is so big that they cover the entire sky. It is also believed that Angel Jibril descends to the earth on the night of Laylat al-Qadr, which is a night of fate, which is a night in the last 10 days of the holy month of Ramadan of the Islamic lunar calendar. This is said to be the night in which the Quran was first revealed. So starting at number 10, we have the archangel. So an archangel is a superior or a higher ranking angel. And in Islam, the archangels that are specifically mentioned in the Quran and the Sunnah are as follows. We have Jibrail, that's the archangel responsible for communicating the messages from God to the prophets. There's Mikael, responsible for the forces of nature and ensuring that it rains and things like that. Israfil is the archangel that will blow the trumpet to announce the day of the resurrection. And it's said that Israfil actually has the trumpet at his lips just waiting for the command from God. Azrail, he's the angel of death. Malik is the angel of hellfire. And Ridwan is the angel of paradise or heaven. By getting into some other types of angels, next up are the guardian angels. So what's a guardian angel? Well, these are the angels that have a job description of just protecting and guiding individuals. They also can protect groups of people as well as even countries. Now, every single person has 2 guardian angels, one in the front of them and one behind them. However, in actuality, each person is assigned 4 guardian angels because they take turns, so 2 of them guard you during the day and the other 2 guard you during the nighttime. So you always have at least 2 of them with you. Next up is the Keramin Katabin. These are the recording angels. Now there are 2 recording angels mentioned called Rakib and Atib, and they record everything that people do. Every single word, every action done by a person. So these angels, they don't mess around at all, because those naughty things that you do that you're not supposed to do and you think like no one is seeing you do them? Yeah, they record those stuff too. Ishim is next up at number 7. So the Ishim are angels that are said to have the closest relationship to what we as human beings are doing on a day-to-day basis. There was an angel made up of half ice and half fire, often portrayed with the name Habib. Now this angel was encountered by the Prophet Muhammad during his night journey in the first heaven. The angel Jibrail told the Prophet Muhammad that this angel offers advice to the believers on earth and actually prays for them. At number 6, we have the angels of death. Neziat and Neshhitet are 2 classes of death angels that are subordinates to Azrail, who is the archangel of death that I mentioned in number 10. Now these angels are responsible for taking the souls of those who pass away. Neziats are ordered to take the lives of unbelievers by force, but the Neshhitets take their life very gently. Now, not much is known about these angels, the Dardail, but the Dardail, which translates to the journeyers of God, move very quickly and are always on the lookout. Why? Because they are the angels who are given the task of traveling all around the world, constantly in search of people and groups of people who remember and honor God's name. There's also an angel named Dardail that is invoked during exorcism, but I'm not exactly sure if they're connected. Zebeniye is next, and the Zebeniye many are known as the forces of hell, and they torment the sinners. They are also called angels of punishment or the guardians of hell, and they are usually identified with the 19 angels of hell that are mentioned in the Quran. In the number 3 spot, we have the Hamlet al-Arsh, and those are the bearers of the throne. Now, these angels are usually portrayed in an animal-like form because they are described as looking like different creatures such as an eagle, a bull, a lion, and a human all together somehow. In other hadiths, they are described as having 6 wings and 4 faces. Now, if you're familiar with the Bible, these angels are comparable to the seraphim found in the book of Isaiah and Revelation in the Bible. And actually, you know what? Let's take a look at the seraphim in Islam next. So seraphim means fiery one or fiery serpent depending on the context. They're mentioned in the hadith in a conversation between the Prophet Muhammad and God during his night journey. Sometimes the archangels Jibril and Israfil are identified as being seraphim as well. In one Islamic narration about angels that were commanded to bow before Adam, Iblis is said to have refused to bow because he was a seraph himself, made from fire, and was better than Adam. And the final group of angels to look at are the cherubim. So the cherubim are mentioned in Islamic traditions, however they're not mentioned in the Quran. The cherubim continuously praise God, and they're described as being bright because none of the other lower angels can even look upon them. The cherubim are so bright that the light from one of them can fill the entire earth. And in Islam, when Moses asked God to show his face to him, God made one of the cherubim shine on the mountain where Moses was, and it broke it to pieces. And in this tradition, God was just showing Moses that since he couldn't even handle looking at a cherub, how does he expect to handle looking at God himself directly? Starting with the first fact, now the Arabic word for angel is malaika, which means to give help and assistance. And the Arabic word for angel, singular, is malak. According to its root form, malak means messenger, deputy, envoy, superintendent, and sometimes even translates as powerful one. So a whole lot going into that word, angel, there. And also in Islam, it's believed that angels were created out of light before the creation of humans from clay from the earth. Now, angels are naturally obedient creatures and they worship Allah and carry out His commands. And in the Quran it says, they do not disobey Allah's commands that they receive, they do precisely what they are commanded. And that's in the Quran, Surah 66, verses 6. The next fact is that angels also have no free choice. So it's not in their nature to disobey. They are not prideful or egotistical beings either. They respect God and do everything that He orders. And in the Quran, Surah 16, 49 to 50, you'll find that the angels are involved in carrying out duties in both the unseen and the physical worlds. There are also several angels that are mentioned by name in the Quran, and they're also responsible for various different duties. Here we have the angel Jibril, which is the angel Gabriel, and that's the angel in charge of communicating Allah's messages to His prophets. Then Israfil is Raphael, and he's in charge of blowing the trumpet to mark the day of judgment. Then there is Mikael or Michael, and this is the angel that is in charge of rainfall. Two other angels mentioned are Munkar and Nakir, and these are the angels that after death they will question the people in the grave about their faith and their deeds. Then Azrail is the angel of death, and he's in charge of taking people's souls at death. Then Malik is there, he's a guardian of hell, and Ridwan is the angel who serves as a guardian of heaven. Now there are other angels that are mentioned, and some angels carry Allah's throne, others protect the believers, among many other tasks and duties. As creatures that are unseen to humans, angels have no specific bodily shape, rather they can take on a variety of forms. Now the Quran does mention that angels have wings, and that's in the Quran, Surah 35 verse 1. And like I mentioned, they are made of light. So yeah, there is some description of what they could look like, but it's believed that angels can take on the form of human beings when it's required for them to communicate with the human world. Like for example, the angel Jibril is believed to have appeared in human form to Mary, the mother of Jesus, as well as to the Prophet Muhammad. Angels are also said to be very large, and they have wings, sometimes 2, 3, 4 wings. They're extremely beautiful creatures. Also, angels are genderless and they do not require sleep, drink, or food. So yeah, a whole lot of facts in there about what the angels may look like and are like. So let's move on to some other facts talking about fallen angels. So this is a concept that is not found in Islam. Because you see, in Islam, the nature of the angels is to be faithful servants to Allah. They have no free will to do anything else. So they don't have the ability to disobey. In the Islamic faith, they do believe that there are unseen beings that have free choice. So, however, those aren't angels. Those are called jinn. And the most famous jinn is known as Iblis, and he's Shaitan or Satan or the devil. And Muslims believe that Satan is a disobedient jinn, not a fallen angel. Also, jinn are mortal and they were born, they eat, they drink, they can have children, and they can also die. Unlike angels that live in a celestial region of the universe, jinn, however, are said to coexist among humans. Another interesting fact involving angels in Islam is that each year there are pilgrims that travel from all around the world to the holy city of Mecca and Medina to perform the obligatory Hajj that's part of the 5 pillars of Islam. And you're to perform this pilgrimage at least once in your lifetime if you're able to do so. Now, when a true believer is asking for Allah's mercy and praying and standing in front of the Kaaba, it's said that angels send down blessings to that person directly. Also, angels show up in Islamic mysticism inside the world of Sufism, which is a mystical tradition of Islam. Angels are believed to be divine messengers between Allah and humans, not just servants of Allah that carry out everything that He says. Because in Sufism, they believe that Allah and humans can be more closely united in this life rather than waiting for paradise. And so angels are seen as figures that can assist people in communicating with Allah. Some also believe that angels are souls that have not yet attained an earthly form like humans have. Also, the final thing I want to share about angels in Islam is that it is mentioned in the Hadith, which are the written traditions of the Prophet Muhammad, that every single person is born with a set of angels that protect them and also record their good deeds and their bad deeds. But specifically for these angels that record the good deeds and the bad deeds, on the day of judgment, these good deeds and bad deeds will work in the favor or work against that person. So one must be very careful in making any actions because, yeah, these angels are said to be tracking everything that you say, everything that you do, like everything to the letter. It's like 3D, HD, 4K video recording of your life. Everything is seen.